How's it going, guys? It's Dylan Arnett, the host of this lovely podcast. And I'm here to talk about kind of my past week. I want to say that there is no direction with this, but I also feel like there's going to be a direction once I get talking about the topic I'm going to talk about. So, to go over the past week, sorry for that deep breath. I really just worked a lot. I hung out with my girlfriend. That was good. And really, I mean, I talked to my friends here and there, played a lot of Call of Duty. I'm really just a basic guy. There's really no other introduction than that. I'm really just a basic guy. I literally just stay at home, play video games, watch anime and Marvel movies, and hang out with my girlfriend and go to work. That's literally it. And do this podcast. That's it. That's all I do. But anyways, the topic I really want to get to, and I dabbled in it in the last episode, which was more about family, your family and toxic family, and the relationships you can have with your family. Because this one's kind of a hard one for me because I know how my family is, and once they get a hold of this episode and hear what I have to say, it's just going to be a whole discussion. And I find it to be way easier to just kind of talk this way and not to someone, because I feel like some people can, relate with this, but when you're like just talking to like older family members, like grandma, your grandpa, or mother, father, like someone that's has like that power over you, like it's hard for them like to actually get them to listen, especially if they're a part of that older generation where it's like parents always right and the kids always wrong. That's just really not the case anymore. And I could honestly go into a whole thing about that where it's like nowadays you could arguably make a argument that kids from I'd say probably from high school into college too know, like books wise and like world facts, things that are going on right now, sometimes more than the older generation. Don't get me wrong. Now, when it comes to being more wise and you have all those years, obviously you know stuff. I'm not putting that past you. But I feel like with all the information we can gather now from the internet and the things that our mind are grasping from TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, whatever. Yeah, I honestly think you can make an argument that we know sometimes what we're talking about. Just saying. Just saying. Because I don't know about you guys, but my TikTok's full of like psychological help, praying to God. Occasionally I get some TikTok dancers on there, and then just a bunch of movie scenes. I want to pay more attention to that psychological content. Where it's just talking about the psychology of how to talk to your family, or how to talk to your girlfriend, or how to talk to your friends, or whatever. And I'm bringing this up because this past weekend, we had family photos. And I know family photos, I try to make the most out of it. I want to make the most out of it. I'm not going to say I try to make the most out of it. Let me, reiterate that. But I want to make the most of it before we get out there. But we had family in town. And with this family, we're just not as close as we once were. Put it that way. I have no resentment towards them. I have no anger at the moment. towards them. It's all love. I do love them, and I know they do love me. They were, growing up when I had my mother, they were there, and and that's what it was. But I'd say nowadays it's just, it is what it is. Things happened in the past, and we're just not as close as we once were. But anyways, my grandma had texted me because I had pulled in this parking lot, and she texted me, "Hey, make sure to hug your uncle when you get out." Now, you listening on the other side, you don't really know the full scale of everything that is obviously going on, and that's obviously my own personal stuff that I don't want to get into. But for me, that I think this is more just like a people pleaser thing. Like, I just didn't want to say anything, I didn't want to confront anything because I didn't want to make a scene, and I just wanted to do what my grandma wanted me to do. For me, it kind of peeved me that she thought I wouldn't. Like, you really had to go out of your way to text me, make sure to hug your uncle when you get out of the car. It kind of peeved me. Just a little bit. And my girlfriend was sitting right next to me, and I'm pretty sure she saw it on my face. Like, I was like, what are you talking about right now? But it was, I don't know. It was just so annoying. And then we got to pictures, and I don't know if anyone else's family does. We were all in our little groups, like people that we already talked to, like, all the time. It wasn't like, sorry for that. Excuse me again. We were all in our little groups, like, just doing our thing. And I think in my grandma's head, she wants us to be all a lot closer and just forget all the damage that has come in the past to bring us all apart. I can forgive you, but it's more of those things. I can forgive you. I won't forget. I won't forget what you did because I'm not going to allow you to hurt me like that again or break my spirit like that again. So I forgive you and I love you, but I do not have to have you in my life. It's one of those things. And that's okay. That is okay. If someone hurts you, I ask you, please forgive them. Please forgive them. Because if you're not forgiving them and every time you see that person, it's bringing you anguish and, heartache, that's only hurting you. That's not hurting them. Forgive them. You don't have to forget it. You don't have to forget it. They try to come back in your life. You say, no, thank you. You've already told me and showed me the person you are, and I won't let that into my life again. So, have a great day. Actually, have a great life. And that's okay. My grandma's eyes, it's more forgive and forget. Let's all love each other and all be one big happy family. We ain't the Johnsons. I'm sorry to tell you. We ain't the Johnsons. We ain't the Jetsons. We ain't none of that. Okay? Sorry to tell you. But one thing I did bring up in this past, 9 minutes was people pleasing. Now, something I think I've talked about a lot with my therapist and my girlfriend, and honestly some of my friends too, well, one of my friends, is people pleasing. People pleasing is something you definitely develop as a kid. And it's one of those things, it's one of those moments. I truly believe it's one of those defining moments when you're a kid that you choose to kind of be a people pleaser, or if you're going to be the person that says, "Hey, no." I feel like more than, I feel like a lot of people are people pleasers more than they know. I would rather sit there and not say a thing and not cause a problem, or whatever you told me or whatever you say, take it on the chest. It may hurt, it may not hurt, and not even fight you about it. I used to be really like that. I feel like I've gotten a lot better to speak my mind and how I feel. But like, I just, I would just be like, yeah, that's fine. Like, cool. Yeah, I don't have to go do that thing. I don't have to do this. Whatever you want, whatever fits in your schedule. Oh, you want me to do that? 100%. I can do that for you. That's just the thing you would do, and you wouldn't even question it. The problem is when you start realizing, hey, I realize I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to be a people pleaser anymore. That's hard. Because now the people you've been people pleasing all this time, they're not going to like that transition. You try to stick up for yourself, you try to speak up. Now I'm speaking as the opposing force. Why? What happened? Why are you fighting against me? Why are you contradicting me? Why are you not listening to me? You've never been like this. What's happening with you? Like, what's going on? Like like do you not love me? Do you not appreciate me? Do you not respect me anymore? I respect you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm speaking as me now. I'm putting myself for once over everything else that everyone else has got going on. The moment I started doing that, I truly felt my life got way better. Not to say that there wasn't any friction between any people. There was a lot. There was a lot of friction at first. It was hard, but I knew it was the right thing. And I believe that with everything in me. I cut out many relationships. I started putting up so much that I realized in these times my family was getting a lot of energy from me. A lot of energy I didn't want to give. The moment I closed off, put up that door a little bit, put up that gate, put up that wall, whatever you want to use. And this isn't me blocking them out. This isn't, me not shutting them out or anything. Just that moment I put all that stuff up and said, hey, you need me? I will be there, of course. But this whole people pleasing thing ain't gonna work. I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna tell you what I want. And hopefully we can come to an agreement. Because that stuff builds up. If you don't talk, it really does build up. And this is something I truly am working on myself with my family, because I've gotten a lot better with talking with my friends when I want to. And something me and my girlfriend always push is communication. Like, obviously in any relationship, communication is key. I believe that, truly believe that. Now the communication needs to fall into with my family. No one realizes this about me, I feel like. And I think it's because my whole family thinks I don't like them, which is just not the case. I do like, I'd say, two handfuls of my family. So, about 10 people, I would say. Yeah. I love everyone in my family. It's just I'm done being quiet. I'm done giving you my energy. I'm done letting you just crap all over me. I'm done with all of that. I've been crapped on so much. I don't think anyone realizes being biracial, okay, white and black. And once again, when I say this, I grew up with a lot of privilege, so don't be fooled. Um, being biracial in an all white family and not having that black influence, hard, isolating, polarizing. That is literally, you grow up, and when it all starts sitting in, and you see videos on TikTok of, other mixed people in all white families going through the same thing, like realizing these subtle racist jokes are not okay. And in fact, they might be trying to devalue your black side a little bit is maybe not okay. And also, just having, when you try to bring up topics like during 2020 when everything was going on with the riots with George Floyd, okay, and Black Lives Matter, right? Now imagine, please try to put yourself in my shoes real quick. Imagine being the only person of color in your family, okay? And I mean like your brother, your sister, your close aunt and uncles, your grandma and your grandpa, right? Okay? Only person of color and having to deal with that alone. Because everyone in your family says everything that is going on is wrong. They shouldn't be doing all this. That shouldn't be happening. Blue lives matter. White lives matter. All that stuff. And I'm ashamed of myself. Because when I spoke up, and then I got a little bit of heat back where they would just yell at me saying, "You guys don't know what you're talking about. No, 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 you guys don't know what you're talking about." And they would shut me down without listening to my side, and I would try to stand with the movement. I would just shut down. Wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, okay, cool. If that's what you feel. And sometimes people are so close-minded that if you just keep trying to feed and feed and feed, you're just letting off more of your energy that is someone that's not receiving it at all. And they're just not even listening to you. So sometimes you just have to let go. But that made me realize 2020 was a terrible year for a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. I learned so much about myself and the stuff I went through during that year. All throughout. Realizing that I've let so much stuff aside. And this is seriously why I'm so to myself in every situation, in family events or anything. Literally, my family photos, right after we all came back to my house, my whole family was at my grandma's house, right? Stayed downstairs in my room the whole entire time while everyone was upstairs talking it up. I was with my girlfriend. We had a great time playing the Nintendo Switch, had some pizza, and that was it. And you know what was crazy? The family that I'm like close with, the parts of the family that I'm close with, said nothing. Came upstairs, they'd love on me, say whatever, I love you, blah blah, blah, give me a hug. Family I never talked to, just constantly crapped on me. Never want to talk to me. Oh, yep, there you go, caveman walking right down to the basement. Look at that old man over there. Grown old man, he's so old. Like saying all these remarks. Like, bro, I don't talk to you. Don't talk to me. What are you doing? I love you. Don't talk to me like that. You ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And that's just the truth. I love you guys, but don't. You don't know me. I gotta be honest. And then literally, I didn't say anything when they were saying all these things. I was just, yep, okay. It is what it is. Like, and that's that people pleasing thing, not sticking up, not saying anything. You're just going with the flow. Okay, cool. All right, yep. Just walked right back downstairs. Grabbed the pizza, walked right back downstairs. And I gotta be honest. I love it. I love it. I love just walking away. And I love that I'm at the point now where no one says anything really except that family that I don't really talk to, but they're really never around. Because I used to feel bad. But now I'm like, this is what I like. Like this, I feel so energized. I feel so happy. And now when I was a kid and I just felt so isolated, now I realize I'm doing the isolation, the polarizing myself. Like I'm not wanting to go up there, and it's more because, and this sounds bad, I know, but and this is something I'm working on. I just don't want to give any energy to my family, like none. I want to give it to my brother. I want to give it to my nieces. Sometimes they got too much energy to give off, and I want to give it to the family that was always there for me, but no one else. And that's the thing I really need to work on, but that's going to take a lot of time. Another part of this people pleasing thing is I think this kind of just like the last little segment of it is speak your mind, speak up. Don't let other people's power over you destroy your own mental health and just holding that deep within inside you, because that's building up, and eventually you're gonna learn to resent, and resenting isn't good. If that's just one thing I could say is resentment is never good. That's for sure. Another part of this, I mean, kind of segueing off the whole people pleasing thing is, you know, and this kind of more just getting to know me in this part is, I think and I overthink and I think and I think and I think about every little detail. When I walk into a situation, I think about every thing that could happen in that moment. Think about when I'm in a conversation with anybody, I'm thinking different ways this conversation can go. And I don't know. I don't feel, I honestly feel I'm an average person, don't get me wrong. But I feel like sometimes if someone could just attach, I don't know, like, could just touch my head and just read all my thoughts, or like see everything, they'd just be amazed. And we'll always get into it in further episodes about more and more of like what I have to talk about, but like I I don't let on much. I don't give much. So I'm holding on to a lot. And I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things in my head I want to do, and I have a lot of, I don't know. It's crazy. And I feel like that's why I feel like I don't want to give off my energy, because I feel like all my energy just goes into my head, and I'm just thinking about everything. Like my mind's always just running. Which sometimes is a blessing, sometimes it's a curse. It's really just how you decide to look at it, to be honest. Also, on the last podcast, I was really talking about friendships, outgrowing friendships, which, from the analytic side, seems like a lot of people listen to. A little update on all that is, I'm happy I let that out, by the way. So happy. That felt so good to go. I literally, right after I got done recording, I sat here and I just took the biggest breath. I was like, and it felt so good. I was like, yes, this is what I like. This was just amazing. I'm so glad I could get that off my chest. And whatever happens, I know that my head is on a lot tighter than it was before. It's screwed on tighter than it was before about the whole friendship situation, which I'm happy about. And even after that episode, that weekend too, I found out things that were just like, yeah, it's time to get them out. It's time to move on. And it's slowly happening. And I love my friends, I really do, but we're all just growing up. And the talk every once in a while is okay, but some just gotta go. You gotta, what is it called? You gotta thin out the herd a little bit. Not everyone can go to the next level that God is sending you. I believe that. You know, when a rocket, I, I'm gonna butcher this. My bad. I'm gonna butcher this, but I saw this thing. This is my analogy. When a rocket is taking off, right, it has those extra boosters that really send it off into the sky, right? Okay. Now, at one point, when it gets to this certain point, you know, in the atmosphere, the boosters fall off the rocket. Okay. So when it gets to a certain height, it's letting go of all that extra baggage. Okay. How you need to look at that is sometimes God puts people in your life to boost you to a certain height, and then it's just their time to go. You know, they were there for a season, they had to be, that you had to learn something from them or whatever. But not everyone can go where you're going to go. And that's just the truth. I truly believe everyone that's in my rocket right now, that's really close to me, near and dear, is going with me all the way to the moon. And I won't forget. Honestly, this is another one of those podcasts I feel good about. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bashful over here. I'm starting to tear up, stuff like that. Like, this was good. Also, little side note, because I don't like talking about my feelings like this, and I just want to change the subject. It's the end of April and it's still snowing. I think that's just something we all need to think about. Just saying. Also, saw this thing, craziest thing, made me really think about something. Scientists have not fully discovered the ocean. So now that they're fully directing all their attention to space, should tell you that they're really wanting to get off this planet because they found something in the ocean. Because they're already trying to find life and stuff on Mars and see if it was sustainable for us to live on. This is one of those dumb thoughts that you just kind of make up, kind of see on the internet, and you're just like, kind of start thinking, oh, what the hell is in the ocean that they're so scared about? Just saying. They have not fully discovered. Which is kind of crazy. You haven't fully discovered the place where we live, but it's fine. It's all right. There's a lot about the Earth that I love. And that goes into Earth Day that just was this past week. Just saying. Love the Earth. I recycle. Anyways. Yeah, honestly, I think that really about does it. Now I'm about to go back, play some Call of Duty, and then I'm going to have some brunch with a friend, and then I'm going to work, so. Thank you for listening, as always. My little advice, I guess, was the rocket analogy, but also if I could leave you with something is something I'm trying to work on. Love the ones closest to you the most. Love them with everything in you. It costs nothing to be nice, and I truly believe that. And show love to everybody. Love everybody, in my opinion. Doesn't matter race, doesn't matter, whatever's going on in their lives. They could be homeless, okay? They could be making 8 figures. It doesn't matter. They could be gay, they could be lesbian, they could be transgender. Doesn't matter. Show love in all ways. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day.